Well, it's the late afternoon show, 3 o'clock. It's hot, it's 109 degrees, and the air conditioning's broken. That's okay. We'll just try to make this work. Even though the conditions are so unhealthy, we should immediately evacuate to a cave for our own health and safety. Let's consider some of the deep problems in life. Currently, we have many millions, literally millions of Americans nationwide that are owed money by the government.
Although essentially
now, in some of these situations, you have some of these items that are childishly simple. These people basically are owed money because of a COVID-style situation. They lost everything, their jobs. They were, their jobs stopped, or their businesses were ordered shut down. Congress ordered all these people to be paid. Congress said all these people have to be paid. Because why? The shutdown orders all work out to a man-made catastrophe. The Constitution does not afford for a mass shutdown of people's businesses because of COVID. Partially because, well, we didn't have a whole lot of cities back then. Everything was spaced out a bit more. I mean, yeah, we had some cities, but still, even with cities, it was spaced out. It was spaced out. So you had people that were,
so there was a lot
further apart from one another. So the spread pattern situation was quite different.
Factors between these items, and unfortunately,
but if we jumping forward, you cannot attack people that, let's say, are candidates. You cannot attack a candidate's income. That's in the Constitution.
Lots of fun there,
because if you attack and destroy a candidate's income, that's an act of war.
Strategy plan.
Starting out.
Why am I still running?
Well, that disqualifies the other connected candidates to those parties.
File and run and declare
from participating in the process
of running for the office of the presidency.
Very
number
simple.
one, and number two.
So we have a situation where a lot of people are going, well, we need to hold people
because
accountable.
The opponents are committing serious crimes and violating.
What we need to do is follow the Constitution. That says, yes, these are acts of war.
And committing acts of
war. By the
war.
way, there's a whole lot more in the Constitution. We need to treat these like treason
disqualifies
trials.
Them
like treason proceedings,
parties
which, by the way, are
election,
different.
And we've been having
for instance, excuses
with
are not allowed.
Able to effectively get
loopholes
and
are not allowed.
Properly.
So when you have people trying to make excuses and say, oh, well, policy is, no. Policy is either, when somebody brings up policy and quotes policy, they're quoting policy to evade doing their job.
And there's going to be
that means that at that moment they are being diabolically opposed to the Constitution of the United States.
A lot of different policies.
In many cases, that's what policies come out to. The policies do not do necessarily what people are saying they're going to do. There's sub-policy. There's a whole book behind the policy. So they say one thing, but the rest of the book says a bunch of other things, which undo everything that they said in the first main page. So if somebody says, but policy says, and you go, no. Why haven't these people been paid?
We have a lot of people that are victims.
These people were already paid by Congress. It's just that simple. Why haven't they been paid? Some of these people are candidates.
Reviewing all past claims and victims, and
there's no communication. We have mass blacklisting.
Lines to be able to
basically, and no investigations. Why have there been no investigations?
At this point,
our policy is that we have to defend our employees. Therefore, we have to disillusion all voters and withhold all information from the voters. Under no circumstances whatsoever can the voters be allowed to have any disclosure.
On that, it's a bit of a
because we are responsible for representing the people.
For some people,
and that's what all the legal documents say. We are representing the people. Well, number one, you cannot stand up with a policy like that and ever claim the right to ever place a heading that says that you are acting on behalf of the people.
Having the opportunity,
you would not be acting on behalf of the people.
More about
because more than likely you have a candidate that says, "No, I want disclosure,
modifications,
disclosure given to the voters. I don't want them to be disenfranchised." You owe me
parties can interject. We
$80,000.
can
How
look
about
at
this one? You owe me
efficiency on
$80,000
everything. That's going to
beyond
be
the shadow of a
lot
doubt, and you have
what's going to
records
be
in your
happening with
office,
my
but you don't want to
administration.
search your records.
Basically, we're going to be looking at
You don't
essentially
respond
the
to
government
communication.
departments effectively have been running for many, many years, although they've had lots of
See,
changes.
these people,
We have to
when you
consider it
drag
two
these
ways.
people
Number
in
one,
front of a court,
basically,
they
we're going to
lose.
consider that
They
it
lose.
has to run this
But
way.
in
It's
order
always
for
been
you
running
to
this
sue
way.
them, they
And
want
we're
you to
assuming that
sign
there's
off
millions of
on criminal
years
charges, or
of
they won't allow the
experience,
case
so
to
we're
go
going
through the
to allow
courts.
it to run
This is the
as it
court
normally
being
runs.
corrupt.
Well,
This
there's
is the
one
court
big change.
abandoning
We're
their
assuming
constitutional
that the government-
oath.
that everything's been screwed up. So
That's right. Let's say that again. This is the court that is abandoning their constitutional oath, compelling you, and maybe you're a candidate. See, if you're a candidate, then you are sworn to protect the Constitution of the United States. So they're walking up and immediately saying, we don't want you to protect the Constitution of the United States. We want you to sign off on any criminal or treason charges and agree to permanently allow these people to basically be, well, let's work this a bit. Let's get to the punchline on this. They want the people to be able to stay in place at large, continuing to do damage to people, instead of having them go to prison
deal with
where they should be, have them lose their retirement, their citizenship, everything.
Of interactions
for dereliction of
It
duty.
goes rather extreme. I could go into a
And
lot more details.
because we
of
don't
this,
enforce the
and I could even
Constitution,
move it
this
at
is
high
why
speed,
our
but
government
what I
is
set up before
permeated
is not
with
necessarily
people
the past
who are
transition
diabolically
understanding
opposed to the
share all
Constitution.
goodies, so to speak,
a brand new way
over
to
the air,
get
so to speak.
business on
Or,
the same
The
page.
confrontation on this
work together
is
It
one where you
basically
sit down
keeps
and you
supply
go,
chains
However, a lot
follow
of the
the
items
money.
are going
Make
to
sure
deal
You've
with
heard that before. I'm
max
sure you've heard it before.
complaints as well
Follow
as
the money.
the,
There's a lot of famous
max
people that have
complaints.
stated follow the money.
That's a big
Anytime
area.
the equation,
Unfortunately,
anytime the
that's
equating
being stalled
does
and
not
trying to
come
figure
out
out
to
how
an
get that done.
equalization,
Donations,
you
yes.
cannot have
Donations,
fairness.
I mean,
Dealing with,
locations.
Let me
I
say
mean,
that again for you.
offices.
Basically,
Anytime the
intensity
equating
resources.
does
I
not
need
come out
getting input
to an
from
evenness,
anyone who's
then you cannot have
works,
fairness.
has worked.
In other
or
words,
does
if you
work
have
in
30
government,
million
I want the
people
interaction. People have been making
that come into the
observations
country,
their whole life. I guarantee
and you
it.
say, oh,
And they
well,
have
we're
lots
going to
of
start up a
ideas
program
about
right
how
away
to,
and have
change things.
open up an additional
And
7
many
million
of
new
them have been
homes.
basically blocked out due to
7 million new homes
well,
does not
politics,
equate
so to speak.
to 30
we're
million
gonna address
people that just
very
came into the
heavily
country.
As to whether
Just
or not
put it up on a
anyone has any
chalkboard.
ideas.
Just put it up on a
That's going to be
chalkboard.
worked with the
Let's keep this
ultimate
simple.
model
Put it on a
modification
chalkboard. How does it look?
Systems. So
Is there a
my
reasonable
administration's
evenness
gonna
to
cost
how that
more
works?
To set up. Because
Well, how is that going to work? Do we start
the new
another
type of
chalkboard and
integrations
say
with new styles
they're
of
going to
technology? Now, the
over-densify
complexity of working
versus
with the GSA
the construction
is going
rate?
to also be
So it says, oh, but we rely on private
the GSA
construction to
basically
continue.
has a way that they've been doing things for
That's
a
interesting.
number of years.
Okay,
and
let's
there's
just
no
go straight to the
guarantee
meat.
that the way that they
Why
do it is
isn't
the
that
way I'm
every
going to like it.
American citizen? Let's
Now,
go with
this is not
vested.
to
Let's
say
do the 9
that
out of
there
10.
isn't certain
9 out of
key
10
legal
citizens.
points to
9 out
say.
of 10.
By
It might
the
be
way,
less
it's
now. It used to be
been
9 out of
decided
10. It
it
might
has
be
to be
8
done
out of
this
10
way.
citizens.
There's been
Are
many,
what you
many
call a
lawsuits
vested citizen. This
over,
means that one or
functions
more
of
family
government.
members
So there's a lot
basically
of things been decided
have a
out
lineage
of
that dates back
transparency or whatever, they have to
150
work a certain
years
way.
or more.
Now,
So you would
fairness
call
in
these
product
people vested.
development
These
and
are
product
vested
usages
people.
and purchasing,
This means that
acquisition,
they
so
have,
forth, etc.
man, they've
Policies
contributed
the
their
GSA
sweat,
respected to using
they've paid
their approved
taxes,
equipment
they've
is
gone to
both good and
war,
bad.
they've
Let me
lost their
explain
limbs,
this.
they
There are
got
different
disabled, they
criteria
lost their
of
life,
why you need
they,
certain
all the,
equipment to work certain
vested.
ways.
I mean
You
vested.
have heavier duty
If we can
chips.
just
You have
grasp the
different
word
versions of any
in
kind
this
of
context,
supposedly,
vested,
that
what
basically
vested
go out.
means.
So when the GSA is buying,
And say,
their
and now we jump
version
back and say,
of certain
why
equipment,
is it
it's
that
different.
anybody who's not,
That's why
who basically vested is not guaranteed 100% a new construction loan for them to be owner builder?
Repurposed, so to speak. That
And you'll have a
has at one
series
time
of
been sourced
excuses
through the GSA.
that make absolutely no sense.
So
They're going to try to pull out a bunch of
these
thick
changes
books
understanding
and say, well, it's been decided by all these people, but all those people are connected to other people that are ripping us
We have
off.
a lot of extra features.
It's connected.
If you're looking at
The
things
books
like
they want to show
laptops,
you are connected to a
many
bunch of
them
people that
gonna
are
have
primarily
extra
lying to
features.
you,
You're going to have
that are responsible for ripping you
docking
off.
ports, specialized docking stations, lots of
You are a
little
vested
bells, whistles, and goodies
stockholder,
that a
and
lot
you
of
have
people
been
don't
cheated out of your
normally
stock,
have
and you've been cheated
that
out
come
of
in
your
quite handy.
residuals.
So again, that's something that has to be looked at.
Because you have other people that say, well, here's an example, here's a book, boom, it's a book full of people that all get granted loans. Look, this guy right here, he put $1 million down on the table at the bank. He borrowed the money from his credit cards. It's really interesting. Wasn't even actually his free and clear. Borrowed the money, but it's in cash. So at the moment, for all intents and purposes, it's in cash. He puts $1 million down on the table and says, hey, look, I want to do this contractor project. I got this guy, and this guy. I found him in the phone book. They've signed on to the program. And so I want you to loan me $168 million to go ahead and build this 340 home project.
Because they were located on yet again a different
and the bank said, okay,
unit.
Yeah, it's going to take a little longer. You're going to have to give us some time to mature this. Well, we're going to have to go to the Fed. We're going to have to go to the Fed. Again, the word is the Fed.
Well, basically, when
and get the money, and we'll get it wholesale, and we'll run this right through.
Well,
why can't anybody else do that? Why can't you do exactly what this other person did? Let your fingers do the walking on the yellow pages. It's exactly what they did. It's exactly what they did.
Now, some of these hard drives.
Call up these other people and say, "Hey, look, I'm going to need a little bit of input here. You know, I'm going to need some advice, and let's do this construction project."
That go all the way back to 3.0, actually. So 3.0.
So you have this whole thing where
all these
people will sit there. They'll make endless. Well, they have loan guarantor insurance, and they have completion bond guarantor insurance. Okay, wrap it up. There's 7, 8, 9, 12 types of insurance. Let me see the slice of the pie. Where's that little sliver? Oh, that tiny sliver. Okay, well, we can use the same sliver right here for everybody.
Having a whole lot of hard drives.
So what is it? Well, it's guaranteed.
That are the backup systems.
You can't do that. Sure it is. It follows the exact same process. Look at the processes. In the event of default or problem, in the event of a problem, it follows these procedures.
I had a lot of backup for
the procedures are they're going to use their fingers, do the walk, and go through the yellow pages and bring in more people to assist with the project. Is that what it says? Is that what it says? Is that what it says? Here's documents. Here's 5 million pages right here. I want you to go through this 5 million pages, and you tell me that that's not what these people are doing.
Cell phone of today, but the software was designed
because I can use my fingers and walk them through the yellow pages, and so can any other vested American.
There was a master.
Let's put it through the AI. I've done that.
Conversion set. This is that
I've done that more than 40, 50 times.
Up with certain programming, there was certain programming to
the AI agrees with me.
Passover system.
So stopping loan discrimination
of one language
moves the country forward.
And this basically
max production.
You had all these
here's the thing.
If
you read that sliver, let's pull out that. Here's that sliver again. Let's just pull that out. Let's pull out these documents, these procedures. If for any reason, and believe me, they got a long list. It's like 1,400 pages on these contracts, subcontracts. Let's keep it all digital, please. I don't want to carry that around in my wallet. I don't need a wheelbarrow. Let's, So, you read through this, and it talks about the procedures you go through in the event that something goes wrong. And there's pretty much this intense prescribed set of counter procedures to go through to make sure that everything works. And basically, the nutshell is on this is the design effectively means that they have a 100% guarantee of recovering all the money, guaranteeing the project goes all the way forward to full fruition, completes whatever it has to do, like the sale of the homes, and turns a profit. And if it doesn't, there's a little extra tidy sliver of insurance to guarantee that. So it's 100% guaranteed, incled with back tow insurance that supplement it. So there's absolutely no reason whatsoever why, in all fairness, that basically all American citizens, I can say all American citizens, but let's be in the reality here, all vested, that's 9 out of 10 citizens, all vested citizens. So that's a 90% wide open thing to say, oh, gee, now what do we do? Well, we have to add bonus. The bonus, see, I'm adding bonus from very, very beginning, So again, long-term plan I've been laying out for, boy, I guess it's going on to those decades right now. So, this is pretty simple. You got 30 million people come in 3-4 years. We have to have an equal number of bonus extra loans that have to be handed out to who? Not the rich people. Oh, no. They have to be handed out to people in the normal ranks of society that are being negatively affected by what? What would they be negatively? By prices going up. They started, this is what happens. You go to an area and you go to the landlord and says, look, man, I just heard you like triple the rent here. Oh, well, yeah, these like Mexican, the guy says these Mexicans or Salvadorians or people from Africa or whatever it is. Says, yeah, I was renting to one person or two people, and the next thing you know, I discovered they got 9 people living there. So I raised the rent on it. They're wearing everything out faster. So I just raised the rent on it. That's not a recorder you got. You can't record me saying that. Okay, look, we're done. Bye. So so the thing is the reality is that over-densifying an area, which is happening constantly. Why? Because people are sneaking in. People are not following. There is no guaranteed prescribed procedure, as far as I can tell, nationwide, that's going to guarantee an even placement system. So immediately, there's too much competition for rents. Rents skyrocket. There's too many people in line buying food. All of a sudden, the food chains are affected. Prices of food go up.
Keep in mind that even though some of this, a lot of this stuff.
So then what happens? We have COVID, and a bunch of people decide they're going to go in the food business.
I'm the one that worked
50%, half of the food chain all of a sudden got sucked up into a brand new warehousing program, where other people that thought their great idea was to start a new business selling food.
It's amazing,
but that food was already accounted for in the normal understanding of the food chain, of that chain of productivity that was already in motion. That supply chain was already set. Now it's been totally set upside down.
So
we got a problem with people can't get things. You can't find hand cleaner. And then all of a sudden you drive down the road and some guy's garage door's open. He's walking in with cases of hand cleaner, and you look inside and you go, he's got 60,000 bottles of hand cleaner. So, he found somebody in warehousing to do business with it.
There's going to be a lot of
this is reality.
Design stuff.
Read the paper. Look it up. This is reality.
Whether or not
things work this way.
How close am I to AGI?
There are going to be these factors.
I would say that it's possible.
If you're going to allow people to conduit into the United States, you have to facilitate a proper way to get it done.
Because when you need a certain,
which means you need better security. I'm for SAR and Ultra AI to keep track of everybody this way, and then we can, and as far as I'm concerned, I sub out to the other people who are the experts, the real experts, and say, you've been making assessments on who's dangerous, and you have a success rate. You're an expert. You're a real expert. That means I have to listen to you, because why? You know your stuff. So all I can say is, look, I want to bring SAR technology into this, work with you people so we can bring AI in as assistive document prepping additional information far in advance, and using the computers to try to help organize and map this out so we can make this flow better. Do some extra scans. We can see a blade of grass, basically. So if they pull out a handgun or a firearm, that can end up showing up as a signature in the system. So then, that might help, right? That might help. So this way, and people walk different. There's a signature to that. There's some complexity. So, and we got experts that do this. We got experts to do this, so we're going to bring these people in, we're going to do this, and now we can decide how to make the total program work more harmonious. But of course, the way I look at it, I think it's only fair, everybody coming in the country, the reality is, we don't really know who these people are. They're not citizens starting out. We don't know who they are. They're on probation. Okay, they're on probation, and here's the deal. You're going to be tracked on SAR. Don't commit any crimes because there'll be no escape.
Is basically the main core.
Really need that understood right away, right up front. Let's get that up front.
This is something where then returning everybody.
There's also them knowing this, and other people knowing this as the word spreads. As the word spreads, means that there's a lot of people. Maybe they do have somebody who wants to pursue them, whatever the reason. We won't go into whatever the reason is. But they're going to think about that. They're going to go, oh, they're on SAR.
Not as fabulous.
There's a
looking as
tag.
today, but
You know,
a lot of other
SAR
nuances. You would
security
keep
track
building it and
system.
changing it as
Oh,
time
no
would go
escape.
on.
The SAR no
But,
escape
you
system.
basically got a
Okay,
30
so
house
there we go. We've got that.
for a lifetime.
So yeah,
back
people
then,
are going to
38-year
think
longevity.
about
We have a
maybe they
45,
don't want to screw
year
up.
work span now,
So, you know,
and
there's that
a
aspect.
78-year longevity.
So,
we're expected to work 45
let's jump back
years
to doing the
before
loans. So
retiring.
let's get those
With the
fair loans
upgrades
going
in
for everybody.
technology, the efficiency
And we've
rate
got I've got a
increases.
built-in. It's a
480
very
houses.
intricate system.
That's what
It
you're
deals
worth
with
for
utilizing
baseline
all of these other
carpentry,
previous
480
findings of
houses.
other types of
At
insurance.
this moment, we
We're
have
basically
a economy that is so
it's a
screwball,
guarantor
mind-boggling.
project. You know, if you're
And it's
lacking in
set
any area,
on
you can
ripping
call
everybody
up
off.
experts.
So
Let your finger doing
returning
the
the
walking.
rights
You
that we're
know,
supposed
you don't
to
need a
have
guy that has a
is a big
10-year
part of my
master's college degree
going back through
to do a
these
two-bedroom
historical
home. Do you?
items
Do
where
you
we're
need a
supposed to
guy
have
that
certain things
Do you
that
need a
happen,
guy that charges
war interrupted,
$8,000 an hour? No, you
And
don't.
we're going to restore things.
What do you need?
know,
You need a
because there's certain
journeyman that's
legal
got 6
rights
months
at
to a
legal
year's
levels
worth of
that have been
experience
forgotten.
that can
And
tell
you've had
you
people in
how
government keep deciding
these
that,
on your
oh, they don't
design,
want
how
to
these
repair
fixtures
that,
are going to
and
have to be
basically they
installed,
want to
whether your
take the
design's
money
correct.
And they want
Let me look at that. Yeah, you can do that. We can do that.
The problem is the
So
back
okay,
page
and you don't know how to do
work
that. Okay, well they
you
can
break
help
these
teach
things
you
down
how to
into
do
smaller
that.
models.
You know, they'll
broke
take
these
the
things
work
into smaller models
themselves.
before, and
So
you're
now
working
you
with
can
them. A lot
hire
of this, by the way, a lot of this
whatever
stuff ends
people
up-
you need.
end up doing
Supplement.
this
You
on
supplement it with
paper.
whatever's needed,
You're using
and whatever
calculators and
you know, and you
paper
get to get
and
some of the work for
whatnot.
yourself. Carpentry does
And
not
then you can
require
use
you to be
gaming
Albert
mechanism
Einstein and a
say,
rocket
okay, well, let's
scientist
change this
to understand the
represent
nice
this,
the year
and let's see how
1750.
this
The
model
average
starts
12 to
working.
14-year-old had it
So
automatically
you
instilled.
get to test
If you didn't
fragments
build
at
your
a
own
time,
house over your own head, well, the
until
elements
bigger
probably were
chips
going to kill
be
you.
ready,
So this was kind of a
Did a lot of
standard
this
thing.
testing.
People just had to
So,
do it.
But the thing
So
is you get
returning
better modeling stuff.
the
You can see
longevity
how models
understanding
work
in
your
conjunction
head.
with
The more
the
you work
vast
with them,
improvement of
you know, so it's
technology
like when you
enhancements
start gaming it,
brings us
the
to
point where you can
productivity
understand how the
has
models are gonna
equated
work
now from
and do it in your head.
1750, 30 homes
And
per
get a
person
pretty good idea
to a
of where you
brand new
wanna go, but now
statistic
you
of,
need to-
oh my
now you
goodness,
need to
you're
sit
going to
there
live
and
78
do
years,
a
not
hard
38
setting
years.
and
You're going to
really
live
see
78
how it
years.
works.
And now we
Find out
expect
where
people
your
to work
mistakes were at,
45 years.
whatever.
That's longer than
So
38 years, right? Okay, 45 years longer than 38. Okay.
The system
Before you
doesn't
can
work right
retire,
that we have
but the way I
because
equated out your
the money
productivity is
doesn't circulate
480 houses.
You
480
have
houses
Kuwait
for the average
where
minimum
citizens
citizen.
were getting residuals
So
from
your productivity
the oil
should be
and minerals.
boom way up there.
And they were getting, I think
And
it
if
was
it's not, then we have to ask
$68,000
why
at one
productivity is
time
not way up there.
just before
Who's been actually
the war
ripping us off? Who's
Iraq.
burning us? Who's lying to us?
And, so
Who's
that
trying
was
to
pretty
create
good.
some
Had a
form
household
of deliberate
68,000.
economic
Well,
slavery?
the United States has
So
more
who's
resources. We
violating
have
the
more
Constitution of the
resources. We have
United
more
States?
land,
This is what we have to fix.
more
This is
minerals,
stuff that I
more types of
intensively
items.
worked
If we were
on
doing
to
a
make
fair
the big,
residual
huge
as
mass model work
basically
right.
citizens
Let me
as
say that again.
investors.
To make the
We would
big,
be getting,
huge
as of, I
mass
think it
model
was
work right. So yeah, I was, really into this mass economic modeling software commitment of 4 to $6 billion a year. So that's what I'm going to do in the White House. Personally, it's not cheating. I've used lots of AI stuff. There is no candidate that can beat me.
So we
ain't going to happen.
have
I've
a
got
screwed up
super
system
AI. I
where
understand
we
more
keep
about
cheating
AI than some
people
people can dream
out
of.
of their land rights.
I was
one
pulling
thing.
statistics
People
out
keep
using
being cheated out of their
primitive
land
concepts,
rights.
using
And they're
mathematical
being cheated
cogs
out
to,
of
by the way,
their
actually
residual rights.
designed to go in a much
And
larger
these are
system,
based off
of
of
which the
certain,
chips hadn't been
hard
developed
profit
yet. We hadn't made them yet.
that the
Oh boy,
government
yeah,
takes
okay.
for themselves.
But
So if
basically,
you start handing that money
people
to
who
the
would be
people,
displaced. Let's say that
everybody
word
starts
again.
spending that money,
Displaced.
using that money to do hard asset development.
Displaced.
Changes the nature
Human
of the way the
beings
model
that would be
works, because now
displaced
you're
10
on-
years
you go to
before
a
the
hard
fact
asset-based system.
because of
So
automation
converting
and
our
AI
system
coming into
back
play.
to a hard
That
asset
basically they
development
really
system
need like 3 to
makes
6
a lot more
weeks
sense.
Worth of
now, I'm not saying
update
I don't like
courses,
certain types
upgrade
of
yourself,
services.
and then you can
I'm
actually
just
make
saying
more
that
money
there's all these
than you
areas
did before.
to,
There were ways
move
to do
things
this.
forward. So
So,
when I've been working with the
this is
master
what I had
overall
going, but
plan
people
to,
didn't seem to like that idea.
restructure our government.
Nobody in
and the
government
nature
liked
of
it,
how
didn't want to move
everything
forward, no one
works
wanted to put money in it.
decades.
So I had to go it alone.
The plan
I had to
pays
go
off
it
the
alone.
national
I had to
debt
I had to do all these little work of
And
all these little
it
tiny
does not
cogs
cause
and go it
inflation
alone and do that work.
at all.
And understand how to develop these items I was developing were going to work in the big, huge scope of things on the big, mega, large language language model.
It's a solid asset growth.
So basically, I'm just going to tell you all these numbers and quotings of enhancements they're meaningless. They mean no sense. They're not getting to the core root of the problem, which is greed and discrimination, which is connected to loans. Because there's a demand. I mean, you have to understand. I mean, Obama administration borrowed $10
a lot of people are like, well, how are you going to make that work?
Well,
part of the reason to be able
from China, because apparently we didn't have it. Now, when I checked the records, apparently it didn't exist. That's a whole nother lecture right there. So, but anyhow, we moved forward and decided to say we're going to loan this money to the stock market at a premium rate that's higher than the Fed's normal wholesale loan. Let me say that again. We're going to loan it at a premium rate higher than the Fed's normal loan rate. So the Obama administration did this, took the money to use the money basically as a creative payment flow.
The other thing is you had
compensation. So they, in other words, they took all that extra money and said, we're not going to spend it. We're going to use it to augment part of the long-term payments on the payback of the $10 trillion. So that worked well. But who did they loan the money to? The stock market.
And that was going to justify
the stock market. So you have untold amounts of money,
but the
40, 50, 80 trillion dollars that people actively want loaned to them for their quick deal
to the original
that they're going to do on the stock market.
Because it works. It works very, very well.
Here's that theory. It's on the table, right? Where does it all go? Where does it begin? Where does it end? Okay, let's bring out a whole bunch of pieces of air. These are hairs. Pop the hairs all around the tactical table. We can argue all the small points you want. We'll readjust those statistics. We can do that. Let's see how the model changes with all these arguments. Hey, I'm good to go with this. Are you good to go with this? I'm good to go with this. So the reality, though, if we jump around to saying that the reality is that
a lot of people didn't
your labor is what's going to build the output of 480 houses.
We need new waterworks. We need
it's your labor that's bankrolling that whole program. How much is your labor worth? How much is your labor worth? Should your labor always be bankable? I say, yeah, your labor is always bankable.
You weren't always
gee, what is it? You're 20 years old. Oh, wow, man.
What they were
20, wow, you're going to have to work 45 years more before they'll let you retire. That means that you have 45 years of potential labor that's bankable.
Land developed right. And to be able
how much is that worth?
Land properly and have it be balanced.
And people are going to tell you, well, nothing because of it.
Fought over
let me stick a rag in your mouth and get you quiet. 45 years of your toil and sweat. Of course, you have something to trade.
We have to provide for water, so we'll be able to.
You could break a lake. Again, let's set these people down, put a rag in their mouth. Look. We do the same thing we started out talking about. It's called specialized insurance.
Massive
completion bond guarantee, gap insurance, whatever's gap, no frills, no fault, little tiny eeny-weeny sliver to cover it, and we just built it right into all the loan projects. That's all. It's done. It doesn't matter now, we've got it covered. Whatever could possibly happen. Meteorite comes down from outer space, boom, turns you into a cripple. Okay, it's all covered now. It's paid off. We got that little tiny sliver insurance for that incredibly.
We're going to work. By the way, this works really good for the greenhouse effect. If you're going to work
unlikely event that could occur. So we move forward with this.
The best way to get rid of carbon.
This is the truth of how to do physics the right way in economics.
So,
and all this stuff that I've been laying out for years when I get around to these little fragment areas, it's almost this teeny-weeny tiny, just like this teeny-weeny tiny hair sliver that you can barely see in a pie compared to all that AI super modeling work of designing cogs that I did.
Instead of having
so
a bunch of money being made by
these people that are running for office are lying to you. I don't care what they're going to say. Oh, we're going to up it up here to 27 or 37 million. No. My minimum first-year build is estimated at more than 75 million home starts.
We're simply
home and certain small business aspects. Some people already have a home; they want to add a shop or a second home for in-laws, etc. So that kind of stuff. So and the only reason that number's not higher, and I'm going to be honest with you, the only reason that number's not higher statistically, when I went out and pulled things years and years ago, I kept coming up with the statistic of people people that said,
And here's
but
the
I
weird part
don't
about
want to
when you
do
models like that.
contracting.
Here's the weird part.
I just
The weird
want to live in
part
a
is
tent
that
on the
when you
beach
balance
and
all the
keep doing my
citizens
paintings
into
and just show
the
them here on the
stewardship system,
skateway.
what ends up happening
And
is you have a
people
lot
buy
of people
them.
that have extra money.
And I
They
like
end up having
doing
a lot of
this.
extra money.
And I'm like, hey,
And they
okay,
start
fine. You
developing
know,
their
this is
own
America. You can do what you
more of their
want.
own
Yeah.
completely
Yeah, no,
independent
that's fine.
ideas.
That's okay.
So you end up
So
creating
not
more
everybody
industry.
actually wants to
More manufacturing,
participate
more
or is
industry
motivated
is
to
what
do
is
this.
what ends up
I mean, you
happening.
could put a bounty
Because
out
you
there to
have
say,
a more balanced
find people who are
structure.
disabled,
Plus, you have a
who
balanced,
don't understand their rights, drag them in here, pay these people a commission. Hey, you found somebody, boom, we're going to hear you go, here's 150 or 250 or 500 bucks, boom, here you go. Give you a commission for finding these people, because why? This person represents max productivity. Max productivity. Why do I say this? Because I don't think too small. Every time I see someone that's not at max productivity, I want to immediately get them to max productivity, as close as we can. So, yeah, let's set them down. Okay, advocate. Yes, talk to this person. They can't leave the building, lock the doors. Okay, you know, so let's get this done. You know, so we find out, yeah, they have certain disabilities, they have different problems, but, you know, they do have some skills. Oh, great. Well, let's work those skills, whatever those are, into the package. That's a built-in job. They don't have a job. That's nice. I was assuming that to begin with. That's okay. Let's make us. Yeah. Oh, you've got a note made up. That's wonderful. Well, that's okay, because they're going to be making their own work now, because we're going to have an advocate that is going to help oversee the project and make sure that the right people have the right experience. You know, some of these guys have 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years, whatever. Whatever's needed, whatever is needed to make that project come in at a fair rate.
There was nothing
at a fair rate, and you've got a lot of people out there that all hold their hands up and says, yeah, that's I'll work for union standard on this category, that category, whatever. You know, so you don't have to hire the guy that cost $8,000 an hour to do this project. So this gets a recovery of what's going on. People at home. Oh, you got a kid at home. He's really disabled. Let me see this. Got a whole stack here. Look at all these sad stories. It's really sad here. You know, somebody's been born. You know, defects. Okay, great. The parents can be the advocates and oversee the project and make sure that they get their guaranteed output. And again, there's going to be some work generated for these people. Wonderful, wonderful. And, you know, there's other benefits that gets managed into the whole thing. And what we do is we're going to stabilize. This stabilizes it. You're disabled. We're going to stabilize long-term your housing costs. What is this going to do? Well, just think of this of stabilization over the course of 4 years, for instance. If you stabilize 3 million people a year, that's 3, 6, 9, 12. That's 12 million people that now have a long-term stabilization on the cost of their housing.
Setting yourself up as
you know, so why do we need to do this? Well, how many people do we have coming in over the border?
You know,
and we have these citizens here. You know, they're disabled. These people are connected to vestation.
This is America. You can
vestation. They're connected to vested participants. We have to do this. This is going to work. Max productivity, max productivity, max productivity. You know, so now we can, now with the model operating the way I wanted to get it going after the first year, we're going to be able to sit down and actually understand, well, what is fair? How do we make modifications? And that means we're going to sit down and do a lot of consulting. A lot of consulting with a lot of people in industry, in labor, with guilds, with unions, etc. And we're going to get mass improvement going guaranteed. So again, my name is Michael Crosby. I'm running for president, and I want to show everybody max productivity. Who wants it?
In working with these different models, we've got a lot of area that we have to restore, basically. We've got a lot of area.
Oh, I got a supplement. Apparently, I forgot to finish up on some of them pots. But it's 109 degrees, so let me finish up with some of them parts here. Yes, we'll enjoy the best of this Savannah day. So yeah, basically them there folk that are basically making excuses, they're blatantly lying. They don't stand a chance. Let's put their head in the donut. Nice fMRI lie detector. They're not going to stand a chance. See, they have designed a policy system that when you put it out onto the big tactical table, Basically, they're immune from prosecution in all ways, and they never investigate government employees that do anything wrong because they might be spies. So they're given a 100% unlimited license for spies to prey upon American citizens and screw with elections. You see, if you blacklist all your opponents, see this way, then you can say, hey man, what's going on? I've been competing here for 14, 15, 20 years, and you're going to destroy all my nonprofit activity, all that stuff where I really didn't even make a fair wage. Can I mention that dedication? But eventually I know that my work was going to reward me, that I was going to own a piece of what was being designed in the patents and the copyrights.
There's no way around it. We have to have
so
food. So
I was willing to work at this and be generous along the way to many folk. But you seem to think that you can endlessly attack my income, that you can destroy artifacts older than the Constitution of the United States, be responsible for their destruction. However, the liability crossover does connect you multiple.
And we need to make sure
that's a lot. Okay, but so basically, let's look at that on the tactical table. How's that come out? You'll just attack all your opponents, and every time that you're eliminating them and they complain, you say, oh, but policy says this. Oh, we can't protect the Constitution. Oh, no, we can't talk to you. We can't disclose nothing. No. Doesn't work that way. You're hired to protect the Constitution. The moment that your constitutional oath is no longer in force, you must be removed from that position, because the voters must be represented at all times, and the incoming candidates have to be in the chain of continuity of elections. And the moment that happens, does not happen, then you people are committing fraud and you're rigging elections, and you people are going to go to prison. And there's no way around this. There's no way around this. You're going to make a bunch of excuses. There's no way around this.
Economically viable.
You're raising to make multiple situations untenable for all kinds of people. And then are you surprised to find out that numerous ones turn out to be candidates? Gee, and it's brought to your attention, you go, no. Just lie. That's all you're going to do. We're tired of seeing lie. I'm tired of seeing anybody out there tired of hearing and seeing lie. I mean, come on. So, these people have to be held accountable for. I for one, like the idea of the fMRI. It works well. Let's just, let's not spend $10 to $30 million. Let's just get their head in the donut. Maybe this whole sequence is going to have some extended, repeated evaluating, deep evaluating, go on. But, even if it costs $1.2 million, 1.2 versus 10 or 30 million, this makes sense. And, that's the time sequence. It happens a lot faster. 4 years? No. This is months. This is going to get done in months, and we'll be done with it. So we're the people. We have the right to understand simple things like, where did $31 billion go again? I think we're at that level of understanding. Wait a minute, mass economic sabotage. Hold on, that's listed in the Constitution. That's a fabric item. Oh, that comes with the death penalty. Yeah, you cannot conduct yourself in mass economic sabotage, or you get the death penalty. All these people in dereliction of duty, we need to snap them right up. So you can't be somebody saying that you're Julie Sue, Shirley Weber, California AG, current and past, saying, we're not going to follow up on when you have solid evidence of cops harassing you that could be spies. We're not going to prosecute them for what they did. We're not going to do all this, that, and this other thing. We're going to keep fabricating erroneous evidence and protect people who do. Well, I didn't directly know about that, but again, our policy is not to investigate our employee. No. Your job is to protect the people first.
We really do.
It costs you 10 cents to pay for a side attorney for that person's defense. But they've already pre-agreed to lie detector test. It's a prerequisite of employment.
And supplement this.
So what is it you're doing again? Since it's a prerequisite of employment, now you've decided that you don't want to do that? Why is that?
greenhouses that have...
Oh, is it to your interest to see other candidates eliminated? Under advantage, conflict of interest. Look, it's simple. You're connected to the musters. You're all connected together. You're disqualified from the process of election.
If you want to
Okay,
really
but you know,
control everything that's happening,
national security laws are simple in these type of cases. Yeah, you're responsible for
figure out how to do
destruction
loans
of artifacts older than the Constitution of the United States. That's the death penalty, Adam. Read the Constitution, read the articles. Death penalty. Acts of war against the candidate, you need to read up on that because that's where you're at. And you lied to the voters repeatedly. You're withholding information. And you're all part of the same collective, the same job, the same policy. You're all together. That makes it a RICO. So here we got billions and billions of dollars in damage done, and still each hour, every day. You know, each hour. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. We've got an update. We have an update, people. Yes, we got an expert here. My name is Virchin. Yeah, look, those are national security items. We have to immediately retrieve those items. Do you understand? Immediately retrieve? Well, policy says that we have to use an upstairs, downstairs insurance policy not to be... But national security says we must roll out immediately on this. Immediately. But our policy says... Okay, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So the reason, the logic here is these people don't have a leg to stand on. You know, and I'm ready to, you know, that little leg, pirate leg that they're standing on, I'm ready to go cut it in half, you know, but, because they're bad pirates now, yeah, but, yeah, they're bad pirates now, but, yeah, no, we have to end this because this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Material is moving every minute as it goes by, and these people know what the liability is. These people shouldn't be able to walk around more than 5 minutes. Once you get to the no-brainer stage, they need to be immediately arrested. Immediately arrested. To protect what? The people, and immediately do what? Restore continuity of communications, continuity of elections. That's how it's supposed to work. This situation is never supposed to be allowed to even occur. We got the guy screaming over here, says, look, man,
the police are not trained.
You know, every minute of every day we got hard drives getting on jets, and we don't know to which country. What's going? You know, we have to track this down. Hey, it's all, we got it all. It's all on SAR. Look, it's all tracked on it down to a blade of grass. We're not losing anything, kind of, sort of, but we have to roll out. That means you got to cut the check. You have to cut the check for what you did. You're responsible for all this shit.
We're talking about people.
But policy says you're under arrest. That's it, the end. That's how that's supposed to work, and we need to restore the Constitution effective immediately. That's why I filed for presidential candidate panel rights and full trial procedures more than a year and a half ago with the United States Archive through the Secretary of the State. And quite frankly, there's going to be a lot of congressmen and senators going to get really pissed off that I'm going to have to end up dragging, well, let's say extra material up in front of them when I should have had cooperation to get the panel manned properly, get funding properly, because these people never should have stepped away from their oath of the Constitution. So when we get there and we start talking about the artifacts, and we go 1, 2, 3 different ways, three different avenues, and people go, okay, what's this Constitution say? It's mandatory execution. Again, next time, mandatory execution. Next time, mandatory execution. When it's overlapping 3 mandatory execution charges, I don't want to hear any of you people whining. I don't want to hear none of you people whining that our leaders have been entrapped or somehow bullshit when they're going to go ahead and basically killed because it's mandatory.
Emails.
Because, you know, we either have a constitution or we don't have anything. If we don't have anything, this country is going to disintegrate into a series of gunfire. Why? Because you have people that think they can lie through all sides of their mouth, and even from the secret side, someplace we think located from behind, and steal with both fists.
Sue was
and then
a
lie
criminal.
about
I
it
have
when they
no
get caught
idea,
red-handed. We can't tolerate
that
this.
Shirley
People are
Weber
going to
was
flip
involved
out,
in
man.
all
They're going to
this
start
crime and
shooting each
election
other.
rigging.
Why?
And,
I
you know,
don't
and
know.
I- you know,
Do
there's
you
some of these
think that, like,
collectively on the whole,
maybe
some of them
somebody
are like,
getting ripped off for
you know, I
$50
feel
million
ashamed
as somebody
as a
stands up and
Democrat
says, well, they're
that
blatantly
the other
lying?
Democrats would
But
not
we have
be
it right here.
policing
We've
the
got all these
situation
tapes and all
more.
this data.
So that's
a
an
no-brainer.
important one there.
Oh,
you know.
that's
I had a couple of people ask, am I off the hook here? Can I
can't
get
do
off
this
the
anymore,
hook and not be
We can't do this.
a despicable
We
person?
have to start the procedure and
Because
get
I
this
bothered
over.
to
We
look
have
at
to punish
this,
these
and
people.
now I realize you're absolutely correct. Your evidence is excellent, and there's no way around the fact that these people are involved in criminal activity and shouldn't be involved in the process of elections. Well, I guess I'm going to have to let you off the hook then. You know, so for some of the other Democrats out there, I guess I'll have to let you off the hook. But for the rest of you that haven't done your homework, and when you run into the material and you realize that certain candidates are involved in criminal activity, you need to withdraw. You need to withdraw your support and let them understand that that you've seen the material and that you don't support them anymore and that they're wrong, and action needs to be taken, basically including kicking them out of the Democratic Party. Of course, putting them in prison would be my idea. So I want to thank all of you. Thank you very much for those of you that bothered to send in a word. Thank you, and thank you.